My Lakota name is Uichoni, which means he who gives life. I was given that name by my Huka dad, my Uncle John around him back in 1988. And so I carried that name with me. My mom and dad are deceased. My dad is Kenneth Graygrass, and my mom is Teresa Feathering. I have a number of children. I have my oldest boy with me, Kajana Graygrass. That's my oldest boy. I have an older son that passed away at birth, Charlie Blair, and then I have Kobe and Cheyenne Graygrass, and then I lost a daughter, Brooklyn Rose. I lost her at birth, and then last year I lost my son, Kiva, Kea. I lost him. So, I come from a big family. I got 5 living siblings still with me. I come from a big family of 12. And then on my dad's side, I have a brother and a sister that passed on. And I'm being the youngest on both sides of my mom and dad. But I kind of play like the older brother, if you will, in the family of probably because of the teachings and the way I was raised by my mom and dad and my aunts and uncles, and walking in the traditional, spiritual culture way that was taught to me. And so I kind of play a bigger role in my family as the person to go to, when they need advice or when they need direction or when they need help, so I try my best. I'm not financially rich, but I am more spiritually and enriched in my language and culture and spirituality and guidance. And I come from a little community in Pine Ridge, Wakabomni Lake. I was raised there all my life. I was born in Gordon, Nebraska, but I was raised in that little community from the time I was in my mom's tummy to today. I still live there. Kind of the community leader within our little village there. I have a lot of youth that that love me. I have a connection with youth and older people that trust me with their children, grandchildren. I was a tribal council representative for my district in 2008 to 2010. Currently I do tribal liaison work with the tribe, with the South Dakota prison system. I make quarterly or monthly visits to the penitentiary in Sioux Falls, Springfield, Yankton, and Pierre to make connection with inmates, and do sweat lodge ceremonies or pipe ceremonies or one-on-ones, just to let the inmates know there's someone there for them, to be their voice on the outside, to relay message to the tribal council, to family members, or just to listen to them, because everybody needs a listening ear at times, and most of the times I'm that listening ear, to give the encouraging words, to let them know that they're not forgotten, also for the families of the young men and women that go into the military. Their families would approach me for prayers and protection, and when they come back, the young men and women will come back changed, and give me thanks for praying for them. So I wear many hats on the reservation. Being one of the spiritual leaders on the reservation, probably from when I was a young man, it was kind of laid out for me. In 1992, I was still a young man, and I sobered up. My brother asked me to sober up, and the later part of my teenage years, I was a real bad alcoholic and, into drugs and all that. And then when I was about 20 years old, I straightened out my life. My brother came to me and approached me, and he's letting me know my mom was worried and had sleepless nights, and me being the youngest one, and telling me my dad had sleepless nights. So I took his challenge, and I went to treatment and I sobered up. So in July 8th, I'm very proud. I'll be 25 years of sobriety. And it's just teaching my kids. You don't need alcohol to have fun. You don't need to be high on anything to enjoy life. And I think that's what draws the people to me, is because I'm walking the red road as straight as I can. I have flaws and I make mistakes, but every mistake is a learning lesson. So I continue that. And currently now I'm with my girlfriend, and we're expecting to have twin boys, identical twin boys, on May 29th. But any time, depends on the babies. And just still continuing to work with youth. I doing boxing now. I'm taking kids around to box. A great way to do counseling with aggressive teens with a lot of anger or suicidal thoughts or depression, and kind of playing a father figure to most of the kids, and my girlfriend's playing the mother figure, and they open up, they probably open up more to me than parents. I get hugs and, I love yous and thank yous. So it makes me feel good, working with kids like that, and older kids that come and, hang out at my house, or that play basketball. I'm trying to be old, but the kids I'm running around in the gym, and I'm boxing practice, and, doing all that. So with my health, I had hip surgery, and, my knees are giving out, but, the young ones and the kids that are in the community that I work with, they're keeping me young and on my toes. My dogs, my dogs are keeping me active with walking and running around. So I'm doing my best to continue to be a positive role model. There's a lot of good perks in that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it. My reward of working with the kids is the smiles on their face at the end of practice, or at the end of the day, or when we circle up and pray, and the hugs. So that's, I'm living a good life. I'm not financially strapped, but I'm making ends meet. But my reward is those kids having a safe place, and doing something positive, staying out of trouble, learning the language and songs and the spirituality and cultural way of our ancestors, and doing my best to, not to add on, not to take away from what was taught to me, but just continue to teach the way I was taught, and just be humble, And my mom used to always tell me that, don't think you're better than anybody, don't think you're anybody special, because you're just a person, you're just a common man too. And remember where you come from, So, I took those lessons, and I took my beatings and took my losses and just continued on in life, But my community is, there's not too much, there's not too much alcohol in our community, and not too much drug use. But it's on the open, it's way out in the country, and it's comfortable, So I like it, I like that atmosphere.